The world does not reward fairness. It never has. It never will. And the sooner you stop hoping it will, the sooner you stop bleeding energy into a system that was never designed to protect you. Right now, while you listen to this, people with less intelligence than you are being obeyed. People with less integrity than you are being trusted. People with fewer skills than you are shaping outcomes that directly affect your life. This isn't luck. This isn't destiny. This is psychology. Human beings do not follow truth. They follow strength. They do not respect morality. They respect certainty. They do not align with goodness. They align with power. You were taught to believe that if you worked hard, stayed honest, and treated people fairly, respect would eventually come. That belief is the first lie that keeps intelligent people weak. Respect is not granted to those who deserve it. It is granted to those who signal dominance clearly enough that denying it becomes uncomfortable. The world is not unfair by accident. It is unfair by design. And that design favors those who understand how perception, fear, incentive, and control actually work. Most people live inside a psychological cage without ever seeing the bars. They believe the rules they were given are the rules everyone follows. They assume others play clean because they do. They assume intention matters more than outcome. While they are waiting to be recognized, others are positioning themselves to be unavoidable. While they are trying to be liked, others are building leverage. While they are explaining themselves, others are deciding for them. This is not because those people are evil. It is because they are awake. They understand that human nature does not respond to fairness. It responds to consequence. It responds to presence. It responds to authority. 5 centuries ago, Niccolo Machiavelli did not invent cruelty. He exposed reality. He did not teach people how to be monsters. He taught them how power actually moves through human systems. And the truth he uncovered is still operating in every workplace, every social circle, every hierarchy you will ever enter. I know this because I lived on the other side of it. I was intelligent, articulate, capable, and invisible. I had answers, but no audience. I had value, but no influence. I watched louder, less competent people dominate rooms simply because they believed they belonged there. I watched manipulators thrive while honest people exhausted themselves trying to be understood. I watched confidence overpower competence again and again. And for a long time, I told myself the same lie you might be telling yourself now, that eventually things would balance out, that truth would rise, that fairness would win. It doesn't. Influence wins. Presence wins. Psychological gravity wins. Once you see this, you cannot unsee it. And once you stop pretending the world works differently than it does, you gain something most people never touch: strategic freedom. The first mental prison you must destroy is the belief in fairness. Fairness is not a principle of reality. It is a social story told to keep people predictable. Every time you wait for fairness, someone else takes initiative. Every time you expect reciprocity, someone else exploits your expectation. Every time you assume good intentions will protect you, someone else uses your predictability against you. This does not mean you become unjust. It means you stop being naive. The most dangerous mistake intelligent people make is applying moral rules to those who operate purely on self-interest. When you give partial resistance to dominant personalities, you don't earn respect, you invite escalation. Weak boundaries do not make you kind, they make you a resource. When you tolerate disrespect, you are not being patient, you are teaching people how to treat you. Psychological dominance is not loud, it is not emotional, it is not reactive. It is the quiet certainty that you will act when a line is crossed, and that action will matter. Dominant individuals do not argue for their worth. They structure environments where disrespect is expensive. They do not threaten, they implement. They do not chase validation, they withdraw access. When someone disrespects you and nothing happens, the behavior escalates. When someone disrespects you and loses something they value, the behavior stops. This is not cruelty, this is conditioning. Every system in nature works this way. Humans are no exception. True ruthlessness is emotional discipline. Most people misunderstand this completely. They think being ruthless means being aggressive, reactive, volatile. That is weakness disguised as intensity. Emotional volatility makes you predictable. Predictability makes you controllable. Anyone who can provoke you can steer you. Anyone who can trigger your anger can hijack your decisions. Psychologically dominant individuals feel emotion fully, but they do not obey it. They treat emotions as data, not commands. They pause where others explode. They calculate where others react. They choose responses that shift power, not ones that release tension. When someone attacks your reputation, the weak response is defense. The strong response is reframing or silence, depending on which damages the attacker more. Sometimes ignoring an insult communicates superiority. Sometimes a cold, precise correction exposes incompetence. Sometimes patience allows the attacker to self-destruct. The key difference is choice. Dominant people are never forced into response. They respond on their own terms. This is why they appear calm under pressure. It is not because they feel less, it is because they are not governed by impulse. At some point, you must choose between being liked and being respected. You cannot optimize for both. Likability is safety. Respect is power. People take risks with those they like. They test boundaries. They assume forgiveness. But they move carefully around those they respect. They consider consequences. They hesitate before crossing lines. Being respected does not require cruelty. It requires consistency. It requires standards. It requires the willingness to disappoint people who benefit from your compliance. The moment you stop explaining yourself to those who do not respect you, your presence changes. The moment you say no without apology, your value rises. The moment you stop seeking approval, people begin seeking yours. Indecision is another silent killer of influence. Weak people make small threats repeatedly. They warn, they complain, they negotiate boundaries they never enforce. This trains others to ignore them. Strong individuals act rarely but decisively. When they move, the move is memorable. The consequence is clear. The pattern ends. You do not need to correct every offense. You need to correct patterns once, unmistakably. When people know you do not bluff, they stop testing you. Influence is not built through constant pressure. It is built through selective force. Most people focus on who they are. Powerful people focus on how they are perceived. This is not vanity, it is realism. Humans do not experience reality directly. They experience narratives, they experience signals, they experience impressions. If you do not shape how you are seen, others will do it for you, and they will not do it in your favor. Your posture, your tone, your silence, your associations, your visibility all communicate before you speak. Competence without visibility is ignored. Value without signaling is invisible. The idea that my work will speak for itself is one of the most expensive lies ever sold to intelligent people. Reputation is not what you say about yourself. It is the story people tell when you are not in the room. That story determines how you are treated, what you are offered, and what you are denied. Strategic individuals curate that story. They share wins selectively. They align with high-status environments. They maintain ambiguity where exposure would reduce leverage. Mystery increases perceived value. Overexposure reduces it. Confidence, even when imperfect, attracts. Uncertainty repels. People follow certainty, not accuracy. The highest level of influence is narrative control. Whoever frames events controls meaning. Facts matter far less than interpretation. The same action can be seen as leadership or selfishness depending on the story attached to it. If you allow others to define your actions, you surrender power. When you make difficult decisions, you must define the reason before critics define it for you. When you succeed, you must frame the cause. When you fail, you must frame the lesson. Silence allows others to write your story, and they will not write you as the hero.
The most stable form of authority is not emotional dominance. It is systemic consequence. Systems remove personality from power. People can argue with you. They cannot argue with structure. When access, opportunity, attention, and benefit are tied to behavior automatically, people adapt. Not because they fear you, but because the environment rewards alignment. This is psychological mastery. You stop negotiating respect. You make respect the entry fee. Those who meet the standard advance. Those who don't remove themselves. And finally, the most dangerous form of dominance is silent. Loud power is insecure. Real power moves quietly. It gathers information while revealing little. It builds alliances without advertising them. It positions pieces before the board is visible. Those who speak the most about power usually have the least. Those who threaten are unsure. Those who brag are compensating. Real influence does not announce itself. It is felt. It becomes obvious only when resistance fails. If you do not learn these dynamics, you will always be playing a game you do not understand against people who do. This is not about becoming amoral. It is about becoming aware. Naivety is not virtue. It is vulnerability. The world does not protect the good. It tests the unaware. If you refuse to understand psychological power, someone else will use it on you. The choice is not between dominance and goodness. The choice is between conscious power and unconscious submission. Decide accordingly. Most people think power is something you either have or you don't. That's another lie. Power is not a gift. It is not an aura. It is a set of behaviors that trigger predictable reactions in human beings. You can build it. You can lose it. You can borrow it through association. You can multiply it through momentum, and you can destroy it in seconds through weakness signals you don't even realize you're broadcasting. This is why two people can say the same words and get completely different outcomes. One gets obedience, the other gets ignored. One gets forgiveness, the other gets punished. One is given opportunities, the other is given explanations. The difference is not morality, it is not intelligence, it is not even competence. The difference is psychological position. You live inside hierarchies, whether you admit it or not. Social hierarchies, workplace hierarchies, relationship hierarchies, online hierarchies. Every room has a ranking system. Every group has a center of gravity. And human beings have built-in instincts that detect status signals faster than conscious thought. You can be brilliant and still be placed low if your signals communicate uncertainty, neediness, and over-availability. You can be average and still be placed high if your signals communicate certainty, boundaries, and selective value. The world is not designed to recognize what you are. It is designed to respond to what you project. People do not experience your inner truth. They experience the surface reality you present to them. The first thing you need to understand is that respect is not a feeling people give you. It's a behavior pattern they adopt when you become expensive to disrespect. People treat you based on what they believe will happen if they treat you poorly. If nothing happens, you are safe to exploit. If consequences happen, you become dangerous. This is why begging for respect never works. Negotiating for respect never works. Explaining why you deserve respect never works. It frames you as someone seeking permission to be valued. And the moment you seek permission, you have already placed yourself beneath the person you're speaking to. Weak people constantly seek clarity. They want to be understood. They want certainty that others like them. They want guarantees that their effort will be appreciated. But in social reality, needing reassurance is a status leak. It communicates insecurity. It communicates hunger. It communicates dependence. And dependence is the scent predators can smell. Psychologically dominant people do the opposite. They create small amounts of uncertainty around themselves. They do not reveal everything. They do not rush to explain. They do not chase the last word. They allow gaps. They allow silence. They allow others to wonder. And that wonder becomes attention. Attention becomes gravity. Gravity becomes influence. There is a reason silence intimidates people. Silence forces the other person to fill the space, and most people fill space with weakness, over-talking, justifying, apologizing, oversharing. Silence exposes insecurity. Dominant individuals use silence like a weapon. They let other people speak first. They let people reveal motives. They let people show who they are before committing to a position. They do not trade information evenly. They gather more than they give. They understand that information is leverage, and leverage is power. Most people also misunderstand kindness. Kindness is not weakness, but unprotected kindness is. Strategic kindness is power. Uncontrolled kindness is self-destruction. When you give too easily, you train others to see you as a provider, not a peer. You become a utility, not a figure, and utilities are used, not respected. The higher your value, the more selective your generosity must become, not because you're cruel, but because scarcity creates appreciation. What is always available is never valued. What must be earned becomes precious. This is not theory, this is human nature. Here is the brutal formula most people refuse to accept. People value what they fear losing. That could be your attention, your support, your access, your approval, your skill, your network, your calm. But if they believe you will always stay, always forgive, always return, you become psychologically cheap. This is why people treat nice individuals carelessly. They assume the nice person will tolerate it. They assume the nice person will rationalize it. They assume the nice person will give another chance. The nice person becomes the emotional trash can of the group. Dominant people do not allow that. They are not cruel. They are precise. They reward alignment. They remove access when alignment is broken. They do not rage. They do not beg. They simply close doors. If you want to stop being overlooked, you need to stop broadcasting that you can be overlooked without consequence. That starts with your standards. Standards are not words you say. They are behaviors you enforce. Anyone can say, "I don't tolerate disrespect." A dominant person proves it once, and the room never forgets. And here's the part most people get wrong. Your strongest boundaries will not be respected by the people who benefit most from your weakness. When you change, you will face resistance. When you become less available, people will accuse you of changing. When you stop overgiving, people will call you selfish. When you stop explaining, people will call you arrogant. That is not a sign you're wrong. That is a sign the system built around your compliance is collapsing, and collapse always produces noise. Most people retreat at this moment. They feel guilt. They feel fear. They want to restore comfort. That's how they lose again. The uncomfortable phase is the price of upgrading your position. When you become more formidable, people who used to control you through guilt will try to tighten the chains. You must be ready, not emotionally, strategically. You must understand that guilt is one of the oldest manipulation tools on earth. It's a social leash. It makes you feel bad for choosing yourself. Dominant individuals see guilt as a signal. Someone is losing control over you. And when someone is losing control, they become desperate. Desperation reveals intention. Intention reveals leverage. Another truth: the world does not run on justice, it runs on incentives. If you want someone to treat you differently, you either change the incentives or you remove yourself from the system. People rarely change because you ask nicely. They change because the cost-benefit structure changed. This is why dominant individuals focus on structure, not emotion. They don't argue with disrespect. They change access. They don't complain about being undervalued. they withdraw value. They don't demand appreciation, they become scarce. When you become scarce, people feel your absence. Absence creates a vacuum. Vacuums pull attention. Attention pulls behavior. But scarcity alone is not enough. Scarcity without value is just loneliness. You must also increase your perceived value. And perceived value is created through signals, confidence, competence, and social proof. Confidence without competence gets ignored. Confidence without competence eventually gets exposed. Social proof amplifies both. This is why association matters. This is why environment matters. People judge you by who you're around, what you tolerate, what you accept, what you reject. If you stay in low-standard circles, you will be treated as low-standard, no matter how talented you are. Power requires elevation. Elevation requires distance. You cannot rise while clinging to everyone. A major step in becoming psychologically dominant is eliminating explainer behavior. Explainer behavior is when you justify your decisions, defend your boundaries, over-clarify your intentions, or debate your worth. Explainer behavior communicates that your position is negotiable. Dominant people do not negotiate their core standards. They state, then act. When you say no and then explain, you are inviting negotiation. When you set a boundary and then argue about it, you are weakening it. A boundary is not a debate topic, it's a policy. The more you talk, the more openings you create for manipulation.